and welcome to the Dear Herbalist podcast. My name is Justaria. I am so glad that you decided to join me this evening. If you are new here, you are most certainly welcome. And if you are not and you are a returning listener, thank you so much for your continued support. I want to tell you a story today. We're going to do story time today. So please stay tuned with me because I promise there is going to be a life lesson for you in this story. I'm going to give you a story about my garden and what happened today when I almost missed something important. Tonight's episode, we are going to talk about vines and how they tried to take over my medicinal garden. But more than that, it's about what they taught me and what they taught me about energy and boundaries and awareness and being the kind of herbalist who not only tends to plants, but also tends to ourselves. So I want you to get cozy tonight. Brew something gentle, a gentle tea, something to kind of help you relax. Of course, I'm going to have some lemon balm and we are going to get started. Now, I was in my garden, and of course, it started like most gardening days. Early morning sun, the smell of rosemary when you brush past it, the lavender swaying in the breeze, bees doing their usual work in chamomile blossoms. And I was outside just weeding, moving slowly through my beds. The oregano actually had filled in really nice. It was wild. It was fragrant. My yarrow standing tall like a little guardian at the edge of the bed. But when I leaned down to check under my lemon balm, I saw something. I saw a green vine. It was thin, harmless looking, and it wrapped around the base of my plant, tucked under the leaves growing underneath. I pulled back the oregano, more vines. Then the chamomile, another vine. They weren't towering over anything, but they're sneaky. They were creeping under, wrapping low, stealing light and nutrients from beneath, all around the roots of the very plants that I have tended to so carefully over these past couple of months. And at the time before, I had not seen them. And I actually almost missed them completely. Now, here's the thing. Vines don't usually barge in like bold weeds. They creep. They hide in the shade. They borrow strength from other plants, using their structure to actually help them grow taller. They don't offer flowers or medicine in return. They only take. They climb. They smother. And the moment I saw what was happening, I realized this wasn't just a garden problem. This was actually a life lesson staring me right in my face. As I sat there on my knees, pulling the vines gently off my herbs, I started thinking about what each plant represented to me. The lemon balm, my calm, nervous system soother. It had vines under its base. So what's been creeping into my peace lately? What's been coiling around my rest? With the rosemary, it's a clear one. It's good for clarity, cleansing. And yet it was surrounded by vines too. So I had to think and ask myself, what's wrapping around my focus? What's distracting me? What's dulling my intuition? Then I looked at the lavender. It has a softness, a surrender, a boundary. And I saw a little cluster of vines that was pulling at the base of my lavender. So I asked myself, what's been tugging at my boundaries without me noticing? Then I move over to my oregano, which is my immunity and my strength. But my oregano wasn't safe either. So I was asking myself again, what's been leaching my resilience? And with the yarrow, my warrior, my shield, as tall as my yarrow plant stood, even she had a vine climbing up her stalk. So I asked myself, what am I guarding against? And what's slipping past the gates? And then finally, chamomile, my gentle medicine, the heart healer. And yet she too had been evaded. What's been undermining my softness, my gentleness? And then at that moment, as I was standing there staring at them, it hit me. These vines weren't just in my garden. They were in my schedule. They were in my inbox. They were in the way I say yes too quickly to things that drain me. They were there in the way I push past fatigue instead of actually taking some rest. They were in the noise I let in through scrolling, comparing, consuming way more than I'm actually creating. And all of these little yeses and unspoken no's, they all represented to me the vines. And just like the garden, I hadn't even noticed it until I slowed down. I got low and I looked beneath the surface. So just today, I spent hours kind of carefully pulling vines from around my plants. Some of the vines actually came out with ease. Others I had to unwind them little by little because I didn't want to disturb the roots of my herbs because they were delicate. You can't just yank something when something is entangled, right? So it reminded me, I can remove things from my life gently, with love, with intention, with protection for what I'm trying to preserve. I don't have to burn it all down at once, as frustrating as plucking up them vines were, but I did have to clear the space. I have to clear the space. And I also had to clear my space. So when I finished, I looked around. The lemon balm had room again. The lavender stood taller. The chamomile looked a little brighter in the afternoon light. And the garden could actually breathe. And so could I. That night, I made some tea. Well, no, I don't want to say it. So I harvested some of the herbs and I brought them home. This time it felt different. I felt like they were thanking me and they were saying, we see you, you saw us, you remembered to tend to us and really tend to us. And that to me is the path of a true herbalist. So let me give you a challenge. This week, I want you to take a slow walk through your own garden. It could be your backyard. It could be your body. It could be your calendar. It could be your life. It could be your family. It could be your heart. And ask yourself, what's quietly creeping in and wrapping around my roots? What's taking from me and it's not giving anything back? And what plants, whether that be literal or symbolic, are struggling because I haven't looked close enough? Then what I want you to do is pull one vine, just one. Say no to something. Take back that hour. Rest on purpose. Speak a boundary you've been holding in. Reclaim some soil. Reclaim your space. Reclaim your medicine. Because you, my friend, are the keeper of this garden. And the medicine you grow in the ground and in your life needs room to breathe. So I wanted to take this time out to share this with you, my listeners, because it's something that I tend to think about. If you're an herbalist, you tend to be an introspective person. And it's never just about the plants that you see in front of you. Because we are connected to the plants and we've allowed ourselves to be connected to the plants, then that means we have opened up ourselves to be intentionally aware of what the plants are trying to teach us and the messages that we can get from them. Not in a weird way, but just by sitting and observing their growth patterns, observing how they take care of each other, observing the invaders and what they're designed to do. But at all costs, observing, slowing down and taking that time to pay attention and to rest so that you can hear what to do. And so I encourage each of you to be intentionally aware this week, next week, and even the weeks ahead of every aspect of your life, because we are herbalists and we are out here giving of ourselves, our time and attention to a lot of people. We are watering other people's gardens. We are weeding other people's gardens. We are feeding other people's gardens. But yet somehow in all of that great work that we're doing, we're forgetting to look and till our own garden. We're forgetting to feed and water our own garden. We're forgetting to pay attention to those silent killers and stealers and robbers that are wrapping themselves around our purpose and things that go on within our garden. So I didn't intend for this particular podcast to be long tonight. I just wanted to come in for a little bit of story time. And so I thank you for sitting with me tonight and listening to my story and for walking this herbalist path with a big heart. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love to hear about it. Please share your own personal reflections down below, or you can shoot me an email at thedemystifiedherbalist. I would appreciate it. And if you like what you heard, again, like, share, subscribe. Follow me on all my social media sites at The Demystified Herbalist. And until next time, family, I'm out.